Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? Pretty well here. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I want to come today and come talk about something. Because right now, uh, the black community, black people, um, we are we are at a moment of truth, moment of clarity where people are coming into realization, and we are recognizing that some things have to be addressed as far as where we go from here, right? So, um, I have a question today. The question is, what is modern day black culture? What are we talking about here? What is it? What is culture? Where did black culture come from? Is it something that we created, or is it something that someone else created for us? Um, some would say we created it because we create everything. We are the source for everything. Everything was built off the backs of black people. Black people are used for their energy. Black people are used for everything under the sun. Um, Technology, um, information, spreading information, moving culture in a certain way. We are used, whether you believe it or not. We are used. Slavery simply was us being used to create financial freedom for another group of people, for a corporation, um, for a group of people that wanted to gain power and control over the masses. So, black people are being used for a lot of things that we may not be aware of. And even if we are aware of, we accept it. We accept the fact that this is what we are here for. Um, and that's what it is. It is what it is. So, but majority of people are waking up and realizing that we have to make some changes. We have to figure out how do we take back our power? How do we the gain back the power? How do we get back on top? Because we know where all things come from. Um, we are the original people of the planet, and so how do we get back in position? Or did we ever come out of position? Or what we see is a stage, or something that's being um, lied about, pretty much. Are white people really in charge? Or are white people being used as well? It's deep. It's deep. So, what I want to do is I want to talk about the origins of black culture. I also want to talk about the origins of hip hop and black politics. And all these things are being used against us and by us for a specific purpose. But whose purpose is that? Is the purpose for us? Is the purpose for the globe? Is the purpose for America? Or do people have individual purpose, which is more important? Which, if everybody focused on their individual purpose and not be distracted by others, then we may be in a better position if everybody focus on their families. But if we're in a war, we're in a psychological war, spiritual war, physical and mental war, then we understand that it's more easier said than done. If you're trying to create unity amongst the family, that's tough when you have the system trying to separate the family and destroy the family. So we understand what we up against, and we understand how things got to this point. And if you don't understand, I got a few clips for you. I got something for you. So just give me a second. Let me check something right here. Let me check these. Yeah, so I use the live platform. I use StreamYard to record a video because it won't let you record. So I'm using this for just so I can quickly do the content and get it out there and post it right from there, right from where I'm at. Instead of, setting up a camera, record the video, pulling out the file, putting it on another software, editing it, chopping it up. Then I can record the video here, post it immediately to YouTube, take the file, do some editing on the back end, and repost the video. Repurpose it, use the clips to break up to create more content. So that's the plan and the goal. But anyway, let me see some. Let's talk about, first I want to show you a video about pretty much what is culture. A Black culture, yeah. Well, shit. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. My bad, y'all. Should have had this pulled up already, but as I was doing the intro, my brain took me somewhere else. So I have to pull up some further explain my point. Okay, so if you never heard of Thomas Sowell, then check this out. All right, so in fact, I don't know where it started, but Thomas Sowell on current Black culture. Now, this is an old man talking about this, but the old man perspective, sometimes they have a, better view from the outside looking in, because I know that as young people we like to defend current Black culture because we love hip hop, because we love what everybody else love, and pretty much groupthink is how culture is, you know, how culture moves through the collective conscious of the youth. So it's about entertainment, um, and keeping the attention. So let's see what Thomas got to say about this.
When I grew up in Harlem in the 40s and 50s, I never heard a gunshot. Boxing ain't good today. And the tragedy is that people regard this culture as somehow the authentic Black culture, and therefore you're not to interfere with it.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from.
Black English is considered not quite proper English. On the other hand, if Blacks happen to have all the power and own all the corporations and whites were working for them, it would be the other way around.
There was a period, I'm trying to remember now, I believe it was in the mid-70s when substandard English began to become viewed as a discipline of its own within linguistic studies and so forth. And for all I know, it was all perfectly legitimate that certain speech patterns would be traced back to various regions in Africa and so forth. And this is a language of its own. It has its own validity. But your argument would be, I don't really care what its validity is. It's holding people back. It's preventing them from participating in the wider society. Is that right?
Absolutely. And also, none of these things went back to Africa.
Oh, is that so?
No. You can. Yes, they did not go back to Africa. If you look at the peace, for example, using the word axe for ass and stuff like that, all of that goes back to the South. And it goes back to the parts of Britain from which white Southerners came. So if you trace calling hog entrails chitlins, that was in a certain section of Britain, the section from which whites moved into the South. And they were known as rednecks and crackers in Britain in centuries past before they ever set foot in the South. The whole thing is as phony as the $3 bill.
In Intellectuals and Race, you cite an observation by the intelligence expert, IQ scientist James Flynn, that just stopped me cold. After the Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all. The black kids and the white kids, the same. Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany grew up in a nation with no black subculture, close quote. Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this the
No. The expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up with was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So they had
no gangster rap. That was pervasively available in Germany.
So
I have to. Sorry, y'all. I gotta pause for a minute. Yeah. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, my niggas. All right. What was I? So pretty much was talking about Thomas Sowell and how he wrote a book. I don't know the name of the book, but one time my dad mentioned Thomas Sowell to me, speaking about culture and Black people. But so here's my take, right? So he talked about after the World War II, how pretty much Black families were kind of separated and scattered across the world, in Germany and stuff. This is a critical time in America because whether that war was legitimate or not, it did a lot for the culture of America. So Black people are the source of culture, but Black people are easily manipulated and we are easily, programmable because we are receivers. We are receivers of light and information. And whatever information that we receive, we project it and we magnify the energy collectively and we manifest it into the physical realm. That's just simply how powerful we are. Some people say we're in a simulation and nothing is real. Everything that's happening is what we see. So when you speak about that, you know that as the war goes on and the reconstruction of America has to come through Black people. It has to come through the Black minds to create a new culture. But how do you make it benefit for you if you want these group of people to push your culture in a certain direction? You have to manipulate the minds of the youth. So, if you understand that after slavery, that culture, those people that had to figure it out from scratch, that had to, like, when they got free from slavery, they wasn't on their own. They didn't have what they was promised. They didn't have the reparations. They didn't have the finances or nothing. They gave all the reparations to the people that owned the slaves, which is crazy. But those people, those families that come out of those slave plantations, they had to figure it out. They had to go back to nature. And sure enough, their DNA kicked in, and I think the ancestors were present and the energy was freed up so they can be able to manifest their own world. So if you understand that those people that came out of slavery, how they created a new culture, and these people were called niggas. These people were a new race of Black people. Sure enough, some of those slaves came from Africa, but that wasn't all of them. A lot of Black people were already over here that weren't enslaved. There's a lot of cultures that was already here. And if you go into the Bible, you will see how they talked about these certain cultures that were here before Christianity came. And they were indigenous people in the lands of America. People that live close to the Mississippi River, Mississippi, and a whole lot of tribes. The people that you think are Indian people were actually Black people. Some understand that when people say Indian people, indigenous people, they're talking about Black people. Some people don't understand that. Those are the true cultures of Black people. Even some of the Caribbean cultures are Black. But you wouldn't call them Black. You would call them what they are. This word Black was something that was gave to us. Black culture is something that was given to us. If you ask a white person what Black culture is, they'll talk about poverty. They'll talk about hip hop. They'll talk about Black movies and things that they see on TV. Black culture is way more vast than that. It's way more expansive. You can't put Black culture in a box like that. But the box that they have for us is the box that they created and the box that they projected into the youth. They created assimilation amongst the Black youth, and they turned us into rageful, rebellious, hateful. They turned us racist. They made us hate white people, and they made us love white culture. They took all our information and they gave us theirs. Education, politics, religion is dissimulation. The language, the information, the light codes. If you know that light is information, you understand that they gave us this information that's light to disrupt your true light.
What you in here talking about?
I'm finna play this other video. I don't know if y'all heard this guy named Charleston White, but I want to hear what he had to say about Black culture and hip hop, and how hip hop is turned to a Black death culture, and how we promote violence, and a whole lot of negativity. And this is something that was given to us by our enemy. They created Black culture. We were the victims of it. What is true culture? But anyway, I'll get back to it. Let me play this other video for y'all so you can see from another older guy's perspective what they have to say about our generation. It looked like I was ignoring her, but that felt good. She was kissing me. Y'all crazy. All right, let me go. All right, some people have, different views about this guy. Some people say he's a shock jock. I kind of see the nuance and I understand the theatrics of it. But Charleston White from Fort Worth, Texas, he's another, some people call him kind of like, he kind of could compare him to 6ix9ine, the way he, goes at hip hop and the way he talks to rappers, the way he disses them, and he says he's a reflection of what the type of energy that they put out. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna show you and see how you respond to it. So, but if you heard him, you know what I mean. He's a very polarizing figure. A lot of the OGs understand his point of view, and some of the youth do. And a lot of people hate him because they feel like he's a rat. He worked with the police, but he's just another, like an uncle character, another OG that looks down at the culture and he sees the flaws in it. He likes the culture, but he also sees the destruction that it's causing on the young people. This is a person that works within the political realm, and that, he's a community activist and a community leader. And he does a lot of youth outreach and a lot of programs, for people that are incarcerated and Black youth that go into the detention center. And he helps them reform themselves and become better men. But he was on Real Life. This ain't my content. I'm just using content that I like, and I'm sharing it with the people. So check out this interview, and you see what he has to say about the culture. All right.
Sonya Vlad interview. As far as, for our society coming up, early 80s, going into the 90s and things like that, hip hop and movies in Hollywood, they glorified poverty. They glorified coming from the bottom. They glorified the struggle. And I know you had said that, you looked into that and was like, man, damn what I'm coming from. I want to live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
That seems to be still prevalent to this day as far as the glorification of the bottom.
Yeah.
Coming through the struggle. Do you feel like, we need to change the narrative of, like if you see Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, in that Will Smith is the, he's the catch compared to Carlton being the smart one. Like he's the money maker. Looks like he's the Ivy Leaguer, but yeah, we want to gravitate towards my mom and my dad isn't in my life. I'm from the bottom. This is what it is. And it seems like, I think we're all motivated by, female interests. Yeah. What's glorified in hip hop was glorified in Hollywood. Like, what are your thoughts as far as on that, as far as what's being portrayed for the young youth coming up?
Getting it out the mud. Getting it out the mud seems to be the best concept that we want to grab from. Nobody wants to be an heir. No child wants to brag about that I'm an heir of the whites. You see what I'm saying? Like Hilton, Paris Hilton. She's an heir of the Hilton.
Right.
Hilton Hotel.
It's easy for me.
The Bushes. They're heirs of the DuPonts. Yeah. Just thank the motherfuckers who make the iodide salt. We all got salt. Just think about that family. They're heirs. Black people don't pride themselves in being heirs. Our pride comes from getting it out the mud and then playing like we ain't got to struggle no more. See, now today's black kids, even in the ghetto, play like they rich.
True.
You see what I'm saying? True. Everybody want to play like the beginning was a struggle, and now they ain't struggling now.
True.
Whereas they still struggling. Something's happened to our mind, homie, in what we value and see as being dignified. We claim that we struggle out of poverty. But when you look at black people and you hear black people's narrative, they don't have a struggle in America anymore.
Oh yeah, no. They love to see the glow up.
Yeah.
From what honestly they want to, when they say, hey, they want to be us or they want to study our culture, it's like they want to study the beauty of our culture, not the bottom of our culture. So I totally get it.
We've always been the black faces on television.
Yeah.
Remember, white people used to paint their faces black to play us because we couldn't be on television. It's going back to that.
There you go. Now I want to ask you, from your history as far as just in gang culture and things that that you've seen coming up. We had a situation with Draco the Ruler, in regards to him getting stabbed in the neck at an event that should have been well protected, as far as where you shouldn't have gotten stabbed in the neck. Yeah. Weapons shouldn't have been in there, but of course it was a gang situation where it was 100 to 15. He was outnumbered, and of course he lost his life. There's been a lot of commentary as far as how that happened. How did one get up on the other? Him keeping it real, as far as him the one, as far as keeping it solid, is fighting.
Anyway, they started going into something else, but yeah, that's one clip where he talked about how the value system of the youth is pretty much distorted, and the things that we value now are way, way different than what our parents and grandparents value. We live in this world with social media, and hip hop is at an all-time high. Hip hop is what controls the world. So we are being psychologically transformed into consumers, and it's very damaging for the future of our race. But I think most young people are recognizing what's going on. And the earth is doing what it's supposed to do. Like, the cleanup is happening. Most people are recognizing, they waking up, realizing that we are struggling way more than we claim, and we have to do a lot of healing and changing. And most people know. But I wanted to play the clip about him talking about niggas and how hold on.
His response, homie, is the clear example of why Dr. King was able to get the 1964 Civil Rights legislation. We say Dr. King should have been hitting them white folks back. We say they should have died and all of that.
he beat America with love. So what that brother did, homie, he left an example for other black men to respond to other black men with love, homie, and beat me with love, homie. How I'm gonna be ugly to that nigga? That nigga said, man, I love you. As a matter of fact, I'm a fan of your community work. When he said that, I said, man, you know what? Man, that nigga used to share all my shit last year. It was never expected to make it, but they made it, right? So they didn't call us nigga to be derogatory.
Okay.
Niggas. They wasn't black.
Look. Okay, so this where it's at, right in here. So I'm gonna play this. It's gonna be the last thing I play when he talking about niggas. This one of them clips that makes sense to a young nigga. That's questioning why things are the way they are, but check this out. Hold on right quick. Let me see if I got it.
History, because our history got erased and we have to start a new.
We do have a history.
Hold up. Okay. Maybe that's it. All right, I'm gonna just play it from right there. All right, check it out.
We're not Africans. Africans' history wasn't erased.
True. Have you ever done your genealogy as far as where you're possibly from?
Yeah, a nigga slave from Marshall, Texas. Her name was Lucille Helton, and I personally know her. She was property of the White Sloan Plantation. That's where my last name comes from. She was my grandfather's mother. She died at 105 years old. She's my grandfather's mother, which is my mother's father. She was the property of the White Sloan Plantation. We inherited our slave master's land in Marshall, Texas. We own the White Sloan Plantation. I come from a nigga.
The fact that you can trace your history back, let's say, 300 years. Do you feel like because you can't go back further that you are part of creating a new history for your legacy, your family's legacy?
Why would I want to go back further? Why the Africans who was brought here, they can go back, right? The Africans who was captured and brought here, they can go back. The black people who was born into this, that's where their history began. Ain't no before that. It was never a nigga before that. We come from a nigga. We didn't come from Africans. They put a halt on international slave trade. So they would have to sneak some through the Bahamas. They have to sneak some through South America. That didn't last too long. The Haitians fought and won. So now you got black people here who were Africans. You got some who the white boy made fuck this and fuck that one. They had a breeding form of black people who was born either from an African or was born here and ain't got no ties to Africa. It's some people that was born to a slave. That's where their history began, with that slave.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? They're not Africans. They don't have no African lineage. They don't have no African nothing. You have to remember, there's a book that was once called How to Make a Nigger Slave. So they started making nigger slaves. They didn't make African slaves. They made nigger slaves. How to make a Negro Christian. There's doctrines on this. We ain't no motherfucking African nigger. We seeds of a nigger.
Do you feel like that's why we can't progress, because we steadily chase a lineage or a heritage or ethnicity that we have no real connection to?
You goddamn right. That's why we can't progress. We chasing a ghost. Our ancestors built Black Wall Street. Them wasn't Africans, y'all.
Right. Them was Americans.
Them was niggers. Them was niggers. Them was niggers. They wasn't called Americans.
Damn.
Them was niggers.
Damn.
Did y'all see what them niggers built down there on Wall Street? And Tulsa, they was niggers. They wasn't black. They wasn't Negroes. They wasn't colors. They was called nigger. And they didn't have no problem with being called nigger. They just wanted to be left alone so they can carve out their little section and build what they built.
Yeah.
If we go back to being like the niggers, we will be great again. Look what the niggers built under that condition. Look how dignified the nigger was under the slavery system. That ain't just Black Wall Street, homie. It's other shit took place that these people built.
Yeah. Would you call Atlanta like a new Black Wall Street or new Tulsa?
No, hell no. Ain't no more niggas. Ain't no more niggas. Who gonna build something like that? The niggas is gone.
There you go.
Man, the nigga is what built America. The white boy didn't know how to build nothing. The nigga used to grow food. The white boy really didn't grow food. He used to go get it from the niggas. The nigga laid the roads and the pavement before the Mexicans came and started doing construction. The nigga knew how to grow food. The nigga had chickens. The nigga had cows. The nigga had a tractor. Niggas had land. Niggas couldn't read and write, but they knew how to do all the other trades. He just couldn't read the white man's words. So he wasn't interested in learning the white man's words. He knew how to count money. The Negro, the black, he prided himself in knowing the white man's words and speaking them properly, speaking English properly. The nigger children want to know the white boy's tongue. The nigger didn't. The nigger speak Ebonics. The nigga didn't care nothing about that white boy's word, didn't care nothing about that white boy books. All the nigga cared about was the stars and the ground, knowing how to grow food. So that's what we ain't chasing, homie, is our own survival and being independent. The nigga knew how to survive.
Do you feel like them making the word nigga derogatory is more so like taking away from what the word actually derived from and what it made us to be?
Oh, well, we don't know what it derived from. They tell us Nigeria, but that's not true at all. Yeah. The English white boy. See, this is what people fail to realize. The white boy that oversaw the nigga, he was dumb. He didn't speak like George Washington did. The white boy that dealt with the nigga, he like the dog trainer. The nigga that trained the dog dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the white boy that handled the nigga, they say they from Niger or they say from Nigeria. The white boy didn't give us that word for a derogatory term. He couldn't pronounce it. Hey, they say these are niggers. Well, they some niggers from Niger. Well, fuck it, the niggers. They're just niggers. They wasn't saying that to be derogatory. They was dumb Englishmen. You got to remember, they didn't send their best and brightest over here to build this motherfucker. They didn't send their best. They sent the bottom. They was never expected to make it. But they made it, right? So they didn't call us nigger to be derogatory. It's just how they talk. They say they from over there, from the Niger, the Nigeria, nigger. Who's gonna correct us anyway? Say nigger. What you say your name is, boy? Remember in the movie Roots, they kept saying the Geechee Man. Remember when Kunta showed up, they kept saying, hey, just stay away from that Geechee Man now. So they wasn't just saying, they just wasn't being derogatory, homie. Just the language barrier. So they say,
all right. That's where I'm gonna stop it. That's good enough. Yeah, I get my point. You see, as he was breaking down the nigga, which was created from American slavery, and you see how he explained what the niggas did. Said Black Wall Street didn't come from Africans. Black Wall Street came from niggas. Said niggas was focused on the stars and the ground, how to grow food and be self-sufficient and independent and family-based. That's what Black culture was before whatever this is. This hip hop black culture that they created through propaganda, misinformation, assimilation into religion, politics, and culture was something that was given to us to throw us off of our divinity. But you understand that black people come from greatness. The history that came before the nigga was created was about way more importance than what they tell us. They don't want to go back further than slavery. But even after slavery, we still did great things until they threw us off track again. So I don't know what the solutions are for us to get through this and become a new culture, a new whatever culture. What do you want to call it? Black, indigenous, what you call it? God race. I don't know.
Bible wrap this video.
Yeah, so that's it, man. He said it. Y'all heard it. And I'm gonna end it right there. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, man. This is the question of the day was, what is modern day black culture? Now that we know what historical black culture was, and we can start anew, we can go from there and start study our ancestry, go back to ancient information, go back to indigenous cultures. You can even go back to Egyptian culture, because as far as I'm concerned, the first Egyptian culture was over here in the Americas. Do your research, study the Moors, study all that. You can study religion if you want to understand how a lot of this stuff came to be with the Nicene Council and the new, what they call it, the discovery of doctrine or something like that, to where they created a new race from destruction and reconstruction. But yeah, I could show more videos, but clearly I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate y'all, man. This is Free Will Media. Free Will made it. I am Free Will. Follow me on social media. On Instagram, it's Free Will made it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that. All right. I'm out of here, man. Be back with another one real soon. Peace.